Steven kommt aus New York, spricht kein Deutsch, also müssen wir die Fragen in Englisch machen. Das explains it here.
Yeah, my apologies.
Yeah, okay. We see here drawings. I would say it's drawing, although it is made with ink and acrylic. So the first question, of course, how do you start? With acrylic or with ink?
Yeah, I always start with acrylic. The idea being it's this kind of intuitive mark making. The sense that I am doing something that is chaotic, and then using the ink and the drawing to try to produce an image, to try to create something from that mess.
So that means when you start with the acrylic, you have already an idea of the image that will come out.
After I work with the acrylic. When I initially work with the acrylic, it is really just about intuitive mark making. It is, it is completely abstract at first, and then you look at what you have, you think about it, and you think about what can be produced from it. I kind of think about it like Lascaux cave paintings. You see these marks of a stone or these objects, and you create something from it. You see something inherently in that thing, and you work from it.
Okay. When you start with acrylic, why don't you continue with acrylic? Why do you switch over to?
Right. I try to keep some balance between control and the chaos of the paint. I feel like ideas are really created in drawings, and that painting is usually the execution of an idea. So I always liked drawing. I always liked the sense that I was just working the initial idea. Also, there is something about working with pen, working with a line. It's very structured. It's very clear and coherent. And it's the opposite of what paint is. Paint is area. It's abstract. It's not as it's not linear. So I like to try to balance those two things.
Okay. One final question on the technique is, we see different sizes of paper. How do you decide about the size when you start?
Well, generally I like to work small. I like to work small because I like the idea of things being intimate and personal. There's something I think about drawing in pen. It's very personal. It forces the viewer to look closely at it. I think if they were getting larger than this, it would lose that. So I like things to be intimate.
Okay. Now to we see here in this show, what I've seen in your studio was similar. We see once these faces, these heads, and then the chaotic cities, chaos.
Yeah.
Although you have some chaos in these heads as well, do you limit your work to these two themes, or do you have more things what you do there?
The way I think about it is I think about chaos in an individual, psychologically, some sense of turmoil, and then I try to think about how that's expanded between a group of people or a culture. To me, it always comes down to people, and to have buildings collapse, to me that's a large-scale sense of people not understanding each other. Whereas if it's an individual, it's that person not understanding themselves. So it's taking that idea of confusion and putting a different scale to it.
the chaos cities, first when I saw especially the one drawing there, reminds me immediately on 9/11 New York. Is that one of the ideas you put into music drawings?
Yeah, you know, coming from America, I think 9/11 set off a certain psychological effect, I think, in the people who live there. Living in New York, it's constant. People, for a long time, people have always felt this, but you know, people always think the end of the world's coming, and the world's coming. And the way I see it is that's true. It could happen at any moment. Ever since the first atomic bomb went off, that we could do that to each other. So yeah, I think about 9/11. I think about atomic weapons. I think about Iran. You know, there's always some chaos swirling around.
But this, also in the places you see, like here, for example, it looks like something goes out of control.
Yeah, that's part of it. And you know, that's the thing is you try to put in this restraint and this control when you do all the drawing, and then you need something to kind of snap it out. You lose control. The work is always this pull back and forth between restraint and losing all control.
Okay.
I have a question. Coming back to the psychology part, is it that you really do that chaos acryl and then the fine drawing on the same day, in the same mood? Or could it be you do like 3 paintings, chaos, and then come back next day and start to come down and do the fine?
It goes both ways. But I would say a lot of the time I will do start with maybe a dozen pieces and just paint, just put it on there. And then within a week, kind of come back, think about it, revisit it, see what's there. Yeah.
You said before you start with the painting and then you look at the painting to find out what can be done with the painting.
Yeah.
So that means when you start with a painting, you don't know will it become a head or will it become a city or will it become...
Yeah, I don't know whether it's going to be a person or whether... And sometimes I have a certain idea, initially when I work in the painting, that it's going to be a portrait or something. A piece in the middle right there. Initially for some reason thought it was a head. And then further examination, I see figures, I see a fight, I see 2 people coming together. So yeah, those things change. And yeah, I try to give myself some space after I paint to get better clarity, I guess, to what I see in it.
In things like we see here, you mainly use red.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives me, if I look at it, I think injury and...
Yeah, I think, well, I suppose I think of danger. I suppose since I do so much figurative work in flesh, I think one thing that's great about paint is that it represents flesh so well. So, the body, blood reaction, danger.
Looking at some places, I feel I perhaps know some people, so I don't know where it comes from. Do you know some person?
I never draw people I know. I sometimes work from photographs from the news, but also a lot of times I draw people. I live in New York, and I draw people from the subway, and I'll see certain characteristics I like, and but a lot of times it's a mix of different people's faces. So it's never quite specific. It's never usually just one person. It's a variety of sources. Yeah, and to me, I kind of prefer it that it's people I don't know. That there is some distance there, because I think the people in the work tend to be distant. They tend to be a little withdrawn. They're not. There's this connection there. So, yeah.
Ja, wenn Sie keine Fragen mehr haben, bedanke ich mich. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, please.
What was